Welcome to my YouTube channel, which is an extension of my online course and mentorship program. My name is April, and I'm a spiritual mentor and awakening guide, here to guide you step by step through the stages of your spiritual awakening. I am providing extra content on this platform as well as my other social media platforms. Please check out my TikTok page, Instagram, and Facebook, where I have special offers and promotions to help you dive deeper into your spiritual journey. This topic today that I'm going to be exploring with you is one that I don't think a lot of people touch on, but that has been instrumental in my own spiritual journey. And that is the link between psychology and spirituality. Today, we're going to go into how I uncovered the secret sauce on my spiritual growth and development, and how I learned to expand and open my gifts to a new level by combining both spirituality and psychology. Let me begin by telling you a little bit about myself and what I teach. I am a spiritual teacher who spent 15 years of her professional career as an educator, and then I left the teaching career to pursue what my real passion was, which was working in the nonprofit sector. So I have been teaching in some form for most of my adult life, almost 20 years. But it wasn't until 2020, like maybe some of you, when my life as I knew it changed. 2020 is the year where I went through a major life-changing event and my spiritual awakening began. When my spiritual awakening began at that point, I had no one to guide me and help me except for one mentor who was instrumental in making me feel like I wasn't alone and I wasn't going crazy. Since that point, God has just been calling me more and more and more to teach what I know, share my story, share my gifts and my wisdom, and to try to help others who are on this awakening journey with me to move through the process of awakening with more ease and grace. I spun my wheels the first year of my awakening, trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with me, what was happening to me. I felt like I was going through some kind of a midlife crisis until the signs of awakening started happening. I started realizing that it was so much more than a midlife crisis, that I was being cracked open so that I would grow and become a new version of myself, that I would realize that I was more than who I had ever been, and that I had a big purpose on this earth. So from 2020 till now, my life has changed dramatically. I published my first book, which was about the catalyst event and the moment that my awakening began, or really the moment that spurred it all and made me wake up to the life that I was living. After that, I created an online course and a business to support those who are on this journey with me. And my online course is called Soul Awakened, and it walks you step by step through the first 4 stages of your awakening journey, provides you one-on-one support along the way, helps you heal and overcome common challenges and triggers that you will experience at each stage. And now I am expanding to teach in other ways. I speak at public events. I started a local group with a spiritual community in my area where we meet once a month to dive into spiritual topics and learn together and form community. This YouTube channel is new, but I'm hoping to expand it and continue to put more information out there to reach more people, because God has told me that this is my purpose, that if I can help someone like you who is on this journey with no support, no one to understand their experiences or help them make sense of it, then that is what I'm here to do. And I'm so passionate about it that there are endless things I could talk about on this journey. Today's topic is important because the link between spirituality and psychology is what I later discovered is the missing link that a lot of other programs don't have. I spent a few months diving into psychology, and I came to a really good understanding of why I was repeating certain patterns, where my limiting beliefs came from, and certain mindsets came from. I also learned how to catch myself when I was starting to spiral or go into repeating loops or negative patterns. I would also understand how my childhood impacted me as an adult in my relationships, in the way that I was showing up for my family, my career, many aspects of my life, and then how to overcome those blocks. On the other side, I studied spirituality, and I was getting into, meditation, going deeper within, prayer, and journaling as a way of tapping into my subconscious. I was learning about manifestation and energy and working with crystals and saging to clear my energy. But there was a disconnect between the two. I realized that no amount of crystals and saging and meditation is going to help you ascend or elevate spiritually if you continue to hold trauma in your body, or if you continue to have inner child wounds, shadow wounds, etc. On the other side, 4 years of talk therapy is also not going to help you. You could sit in a room with a therapist for 4 years and just talk about your problems without it ever solving the real issue at hand. So the secret sauce for me was to combine both spirituality and psychology. And that is where I saw a huge transformation. As I studied on my own, worked with my own therapist on different trauma healing techniques, as I studied on my own with different forms of healing, holistic health, and ways to understand the body and what it's trying to tell us, I came to the conclusion that if we have unhealed traumas, if we have inner child wounds, shadow self wounds, or negative beliefs that are living in our subconscious, there is no way that we will get to the higher levels of enlightenment, or if you're going through a spiritual awakening, there is no way that you will break through the ceiling, I should say, to get past a certain point, because those wounds will continue to block our spiritual gifts and keep us in repeating loops. So as I did my own practice in therapy, I tried other techniques that were not talk therapy. I did hypnotherapy, I did EMDR, I did EFT tapping, I did brain spotting. I tried almost every type of trauma therapy that gets into the body and rewires the synapses in your brain. In addition, I did deep inner work. So somatic healing. I would take salt baths where I would purge years of trauma, and also doing a lot of time in nature, a lot of introspection, journaling, being with myself and connecting with myself. And through that process of working on myself, I became hyper aware of my emotions, my triggers, and what my body was telling me, so that I knew myself on such a deep level that I could detect when I was out of balance or when something was going wrong. Eventually, I knew myself so well that I could tell where a thought was coming from, an emotion or a trigger was coming from, and I learned to be the observer. I could look from an outside view to see whether I was getting myself trapped in old thought loops, if I was feeling out of balance, and in what situations or with what people. And then I could immediately go into action with a combination of psychological tools as well as spiritual tools and practices to stop that loop. So it was learning to be the observer from an outside perspective where I wasn't inside of my old wounding or my old patterns, but I could look at it from a zoomed out perspective that would allow me to then see where the issue was coming from. Was I anxious about something? Was it a attachment wound that was being activated? Was it some kind of feeling of not being secure or safe? Was it my nervous system being on overdrive? What exactly was causing the issue? And then I could blend both psychology and spirituality to help me tackle that problem. And this is what helped me grow the most and expand to new levels, both personally and spiritually. So I think when you are looking at different programs, that is something to consider. And if you feel like you haven't made progress, or that you keep repeating the same cycles or patterns, you keep seeing, the same issues in your relationships, with your job, with your mindset, catching yourself in the same traps, it may be because you're trying one or the other. You're trying either the approach from the spiritual side or the approach from the psychology side, rather than combining both of them. I will tell you that I'm not a psychologist or clinical therapist, but that I have done enough work with psychology and spirituality to understand the link between the two. And I've incorporated this into my Soul Awakened course and mentorship program. And when working with clients, I am able to then use my intuitive gifts to read into a person's wounding and be able to direct them as to what type of healing or block or challenge they're experiencing and how to move past it. So there's only so much a positive mindset will do. In the spiritual world, they teach you about manifestation and just think positively and just try to manifest what you want and just expand and don't feel these negative feelings and just push them to the side or bypass them and just keep doing more of the spiritual practices that make you feel good. But the reality is, and what I came to understand on my own awakening journey, is that if you don't process the deep wounds that are hidden there and you don't release the emotions that are tied to those wounds, your spiritual growth will always be stunted. That those wounds will continue surfacing, and they also live in your body. So if you really listen to your body and what it's telling you, when you get anxious, that's your body telling you, hey, pay attention. I need you. I want you to listen to me and do this for me. If you're feeling a lot of tension or you have digestive issues, those are all things that your body is telling you there's a wound in there somewhere. And so I've become really adept at tuning into our bodies, tuning into a person's background and triggers, and then using both psychology and spirituality to heal the whole person. If this sounds like something that fits you and your situation, that would help you grow and expand on your spiritual path, please check out my Soul Awakened course and one-on-one mentorship program to see if it's something that is right for you. I am open for a free discovery call as well if you would like to jump on a call where we can talk a little bit more about your background and what it is you're seeking before you move forward. Just know that I'm here to guide and support you and to make your awakening journey as easy and graceful as possible. Sending you so much love. Connect with my socials down below. I'll leave the links, and I hope to see you in my Soul Awakened course. Take care.